Hi everyone, welcome to World of Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie and this is a replay sent from Thadeous from Mi6, one of my recruitment officers at the Mi6 clan, the best clan in the universe, grooviest, sexiest, trendiest clan in the Southeast Asian server. Is platooning with Get Wide and the Money Shot. Get Wide and the Money Shot are both in their Waffentragers Auf E100, the tier 10 auto-loading German tank destroyer. Thadeous is in his trusty Object 140. He's very handy in his 140 in clan wars, platoons and strongholds. And in this replay you'll see that just because you're top tier doesn't mean you can't do a bit of spotting. You can see he's already been spotted in his 140. He's at the hill, which is, or the little magic bush. It used to be the magic bush where he is now, but I think they've changed it. But unfortunate to cop a shot from the E100 back at the enemy base by the looks of it, but he's moving up to ride these ridge lines where he can do a bit of early spotting for his team and hopefully light the heavies up that are likely to go up on the hill. He's unfortunate to get ammo racked in that first shot, but he's not going to fix it yet. He's just going to have a look around. He's looking on the mini-map, looking at where his other teammates are going and trying to do some early spotting for his team. Sees the other 140 and he puts a early cheeky shot into it. Tipping now is about the time that he realises his ammo rack's been damaged, and that's why it's taking so long for him to reload. Puts another shot into the 140, but it just bounces, but getting a little bit of spotting damage for his team. And lighting up those tanks that are hiding up the back. Get Wide gets the kill on that 140 that Thadeous spotted. Him and the Money Shot in their Waffentragers Auf E100s are sitting back and doing a little bit of sniping. You can see down the bottom of the screen he's running food in his Object 140, which gives a little bit of an advantage to everything. It helps with his reload, his aim time, his speed and his manoeuvrability. In the quick little Object 140, which is a very, very handy tank at tier 10. Clan wars, skirmishes and of course platoons. He's lighting up that E100. Now he might not be lighting these tanks up. There's a T49 there, which is T49's not in a bad spot for spotting as well. But from memory, the Object 140 has a slightly better view range than the T49, being a tier 10. Unfortunately, Money Shot gets killed by the tier 10 American artillery on the other side, T92. I think he just got caught out of position looking at where he was on the mini-map. So Thadeous is just taking his time here, is the nose, and he'll tell you, if you ever speak to him, he'll tell you that you don't need to rush out early, especially if you're a medium. The longer the game goes for, the more useful a medium tank is. He's checking out that E100, gets a very lucky shot into that E100. He was sort of moving a little bit as he fired, but he's hanging around this ridgeline, trying to keep these tanks lit up. They've got a good presence on the hill, Thadeous' side. There's, looks like about 7 tanks have gone to the hill. So if that E100 and the IS-7, if they push the hill, then they're going to be met with a fair bit of resistance. Sets the E100 on fire and is taken out by the Conqueror gun carriage. Takes a very dangerous tank out of the game. Now they're winning 3-1, which is, I suppose you could say it's comfortable, but it's definitely not over yet. Especially at this tier, things can change very, very quickly. Looking at the minimap, it looks like a couple of the enemy's mediums have gone down to the southwest corner to try and spot the Thadeous' side's base. But for the moment, the focus is on the north side of the hill. The IS-7, the E100's already gone, and there's an E75 that was spotted up there as well. Now Thadeous is getting spotted, which would tell me there's probably that RU251 is probably around here somewhere, which is where he's looking. The RU251's a pretty good tank, I believe. I haven't got it yet. I'm still on the spic, but like any light tanks, It's their job to light the heavies, the mediums, and tank destroyers up on the enemy side, especially if they're low tier like the RU-251 is. And you'll see he actually has a pretty good game at 251. You'll see in the battle results at the end of the game. Now at 5-2, not a bad lead. So Thadeous is moving up to this little ridge line here, which I love getting into this ridge line in a medium or a light tank. You can light up the enemy's base, which I think the T-49 is probably lighting up the enemy's base there, but you can definitely get a few shots off. The Death Star, the 251B, 183. Fires a shot. Thadeous' side has only lost 2 tanks at the moment. You can see he's having a look at that medium tank that was last seen near his base, but there's a Tortoise and Type 61 looking after the base. Hopefully they're in the game. Neither of them have got any kills yet, but they're keeping it lit up. Puts a shot into that RU-251 as the Skoda down towards Thadeous' base starts pushing on that medium, and the tank destroyer actually takes out both of them with the help of the T-62A. So Thadeous realises now's probably the time to move. All the heavies are pushing on the enemy base. Get wide, and his Waffentrager is right next to him and he's reloading. They're taking a bit of fire from the south, and of course we know there's 2 of them there. There might even be 3, but I think it's just 2, and they're sitting on the base. So Thadeous knows that here's one of the quicker tanks along with that other Object 140. They're going to go back and try and reset while the heavies take care of that RU-251 and whoever else is back at the base. Thadeous hasn't picked up any kills, but you can see he's, just by taking those sneaky shots here and there, he's racked up over 2,000 damage, and now he's charging back to the base, because if that other bloke jumps on the cap, which he's just done now, the cap time has gone down to less than 30 seconds. Gets a shot into the T-62A and another one, and he gets killed by the artillery. But there's still the Skoda T-50, which is a pretty dangerous tank, the old T-50, the new Czech tanks, and the Jagdpanzer has gone on a little bit of a hero run. Now the T-50 had all the cap points, so that shot on the T-50 has reset the cap timer. A little bit of good-natured humour going on in the chat, and now it looks like it's they're not quite spotted. There they are. Unfortunately, with the replays, the assistance to allies doesn't really come up when you spot someone on the replay when you're watching a replay. But we'll see how much spotting damage Thadeous gets in this game when we get to look at the battle results. Picks up his first kill, which brings his damage counter that he's been seen at 3,771, which you'd take that any day of the week in the tier 10 game. Nearly 4,000 damage. The GGs have already come out in the chat, and Thadeous is going as quick as he can back to his base, because he knows that's where the Skoda's going to be. It could be anywhere by now, because I believe it's a reasonably quick tank. I don't have it. I'm only up to tier 7 in the new Czech line, but the tier 9 and 10 Czech medium tanks are very dangerous indeed when you come up against them. They're a little bit like the French auto-loading Batchat medium tanks. The time to be cautious is over. As Thadeous is just charging around looking for him. He's spotted the Skoda. The Skoda's not looking at him. So he gets another shot in to bring his damage to over 4,000. And takes out the last tank of the game, which is always a good feeling when you take out the last tank of the game. A great game by Thadeous. Unfortunately, he only got the second class mastery badge, which you'll see why I think it's a bit surprising on the next page, but he's got a swag of medals there. The spotter, because he did over 1,000 spotting damage, or he spotted for his team over 1,000 spotting damage. Bruiser for damaging modules and crew members, which could have probably happened when he lit that E100 on fire. Fire for effect medal. You also got the defender medal for reducing the cap points. When he shot that Skoda, the Skoda had pretty much all the cap points because the T-62A had been killed and the Jagdpanzer had only just arrived. and the Patrol Duty Medal, who spotted and helped his team damage at least 6 players. Look at all those tanks, all those green ones. All those green ones are the tanks he did spotting damages on, and these ones here are the ones that he spotted first, and the 2 kills and all the damage and the module damage that he did. Looking at the second page of the post-game battle results, 4,312 damage in the end with his 2 kills. And this is why I think it's surprising he only got a second class mastery badge, because spotting damage counts, and he did 5,581 spotting damage. That's massive. It goes to show, it doesn't matter. If you're in a top tier medium tank, you can still spot for the rest of your team. Remember, he had 2 artilleries who would have been shooting at whatever he was spotting, as well as the Waffentragers. There was actually 3 Waffentragers in that game, and 3 artillery, as well as all the other heavy tanks. Unfortunate for Teru 4 in the Spa Panzer, the tier 8 German light tank. He had a good game too, spotting 4,706 spotting damage. Didn't do any damage himself. He only fired 2 shots, and none of them did anything, but he had a great game. And bad luck for him, that would have been a good result for him, 4,706 spotting damage. But no one on the enemy side really stood up. The Batchat did okay with 2,500, but that's only 1 clip for the Batchat. And a few did 1,000, a few did 2,000, but Thadeous absolutely killed it with 4,312 damage and 2 kills. You see the artilleries both had good games with nearly 4,000 and nearly 3,500. Get Wide with 3,000 and a few others. As usual in a tier 10 game, he must have fired a bit of premium ammunition there, because he lost 40,000 credits with his premium account. If he didn't have a premium account, he would have lost 74,000 credits. But worth it in every essence of the word, because he had a really massive game there with 4,000 damage as well as 5,500 spotting damage. Anyway, thanks to Thadeous for sending me that replay. It was a good platoon, it was a good laugh. I'm sure he had a good time doing it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you all next time.